Hi everyone, Meteorologist Emery here in the Fox 19 First Alert Streaming Center here on our Saturday edition of 19atSIX, our weekend weather show. We do it every weekend on Saturdays and Sundays at 6 p.m. wherever you stream on the Fox 19 First Alert and News app. Also on the 24/7 weather streaming channel, fox19.com, YouTube, and of course on Facebook, both the Fox 19 Facebook page as well as my Facebook page at Emery WX. So we're going to get right into it because, of course, a lot of stuff happening here in the next 24 hours, especially with regards to snow moving in tomorrow late morning and continuing into tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, as well as into Monday. So we're just going to dive right into it. Let's go ahead and begin with the latest alerts. These you probably have seen on the top of our screen. You've probably seen it on fox19.com. You probably saw it on the First Alert weather app too. But for everyone in the Fox 19 Now viewing area, we have winter storm warnings. This is from 10 a.m. on Sunday all the way until midnight going into Tuesday morning. So all day Monday, most of Sunday, do we have winter storm warnings in effect. And that's because we're looking at significant snow as well as ice. And I'll show you that map here in just a second. But I do want to go ahead and first look at radar and satellite to show you where this system is, bring in already a lot of impactful weather over to our west, and a lot of alerts not just for us, but for a large portion of the region. In fact, we'll go ahead and begin. Here is that system, this area of low pressure here, and it's bringing already a lot of ice for folks over towards Kansas, western and southwestern portions of Missouri. And here are the alerts that are associated with that. This just shows you all the alerts. So they even have blizzard warning conditions over towards Wichita, Kansas, all the way up towards northeastern Texas or Kansas, over towards northwestern Missouri. Ice storm warnings into far western Kentucky, southern Illinois, including Cape Girardeau, and southern portions of Missouri. And whereas we're kind of in this big pink belt here of, again, winter storm warnings. So I'll go ahead and show you the latest model data, which does show, again, that band of heavy snow, which has still been something we've been monitoring here for the last few days. So what we'll do is we'll put this up into motion. We'll put it up full screen for you. And what I'm going to try to do, see if I can zoom in just a little bit, because that way you can see more locations. So let's go ahead and zoom that in just a smidge to see if some of those locations do pop up. So they're showing up weird, odd spots. But hopefully you know the shape of your county. If you don't know, that's really important, not just for an event like this, but just for any kind of weather scenario. But we'll play this out forward in time. So this is 9 a.m. Already our southwestern counties, Switzerland County, Carroll, Owen, Gallatin, Grant counties, going to begin to see maybe some light snow shower activity between 9 and 10 a.m. After 10 a.m., that snow band, that shield, begins to really push northward and northeastward as we go into Sunday midday and afternoon. After 3 o'clock, we're going to begin to see moderate to heavy snow work its way into the region. So you can see here, again, a lot of dark blue. This is at Sunday afternoon. I need to mute my phone. Our weather team is talking about some technical stuff and scheduling stuff because we're all going to be all hands on deck Sunday into Monday. So it's a Sunday afternoon, 4 o'clock. You can see some of that heavy snow that is making its way into the region. We'll go ahead and play this forward. 8, 9 o'clock still, bands of moderate to heavy snow. But do note something we've also been addressing is that potential for ice. So this is at 11 o'clock at night. You can begin to see that pink line here indicating a mix of snow, sleet, and freezing rain here. This is at 11 o'clock here. Let's play this out forward in time, and that still holds on going into Monday morning. And that pink line could push a little bit further north. Models are not 100% with one another, but we do know areas to our far southern counties have odds of not just snow, but also freezing rain and sleet, whereas areas along the Ohio River and southward could see snow and sleet mix in with it, and perhaps some minor ice accumulations. And areas north of the Ohio River have the best bet for heavy snow. So this is Monday morning, 5 a.m. Most of the sleet, freezing rain potential has begun to cease, and we're still looking at snow shower activity, especially to our northern counties. So we go into Monday midday. You can see here moderate snow shower activity. Do note the darker shades of blue indicating those bands of moderate snow. And then eventually Monday afternoon into Monday evening, the snow shower activity does become lighter and scattered in nature. But we've got first alert weather days again for both Sunday and Monday. Also for Tuesday, but it's not because of winter weather, but cold conditions, and we'll dive into that here in a little bit. But we're going to focus on this first. So the impact timeline here. So Sunday after 10 a.m., are we looking at steady accumulating snow moving in, slow travel? It's going to immediately begin to create impacts, moderate to high impacts even. But after 3 o'clock, will we begin to see that heavier band of snow move in, and then eventually some of that freezing rain, sleet moving in from our south. So 3 p.m. all the way to 1 a.m. at least on Monday, are we looking at some ice mixing, significant issues, more significant issues as we head into Monday morning and to Monday midday. And I know some of you on Facebook, I haven't even checked Facebook yet, but I'm already a sure bet people are going to ask, how much are we going to see? Now, this is one of the situations I will say, I'm not going to show the numbers just yet, but I will shortly. I do want to preface with this. Whether you're seeing 5 inches of snow and a few inches of sleet, or 9 or 10 inches of snow and very little sleet, still going to create a lot of impacts on roadways and the potential for even power outage issues or concerns. They're there. So impacts are looking pretty major at this point. So behind me, we'll go ahead and show you that snowfall forecast. I just updated this. And notice now there are 2 pink lines. That's because that freezing rain line has shifted a little bit further north with regards to more impactful stuff. But for Cincinnati, still a lot of this purple here, and I'll move over on this side, that way you can see the numbers. And that is, for areas in purple, 7 to 11 inches of snow. Locally, higher amounts are possible, especially where that band really wants to get intense, right along where that sleet and snow line kind of ends. So there could see a band of locally higher amounts, close to a foot. South of the Ohio River, it's more on the lines of 4 to 8 inches of snow, along with a mix of sleet and freezing rain. So this lighter shade of pink here is up to 1/10 of an inch of freezing rain accumulations. And then this darker shade of pink, which includes portions of Carroll County, Owen County, Southern Grant, Pendleton, Bracken, Robertson, Mason, and Lewis counties, could see upwards of 3/10 of an inch of freezing rain accumulation. So really close as to where we're going to be seeing that sleet, freezing rain, and snow line right along the Ohio River, so through here. So again, some of this will be mixed in with sleet. We can't quite rule that out. I'm not used to sending over there. So we can't quite rule out these numbers might be slightly lower if you do see a lot of sleet with this. That's just kind of the name of the game here when you get snow and sleet combined. But generally speaking, we are going to be seeing heavy snow. It's just a matter of where that sleet kind of cuts off. So kind of the shade of purple is where we're going to be seeing that band of heavy snow most likely to develop here at this point. So take a pause real quick and see if we have any comments. I'm sure we do here at this point. Whew. A lot of comments. Laura is asking about blizzard conditions. Not likely. Blizzards are something very specific, and you need to have a certain wind gust for a prolonged period of time and reduced visibility. I'm not seeing it to be a concern, at least with the heaviest bands of snow moving in, at least for Sunday night into Monday morning. All right. In fact, I don't even have a chance to go through all these comments because this Facebook is kind of crashing on me. I can't even get to the comments. There are a lot. Okay, here we go. Let's go to the sensible comments. If you're going to comment something disrespectful or negative, I'm not going to acknowledge it. I'll just put that out there to address. People are asking, when does this start? So 10 a.m. is when we're going to see that snow shower activity initially move in from the south and west. So our southwestern locations, Vevey, Carrollton, Owenton, Batesville, Greensburg, Versailles. You're going to see this move in as early as 10 a.m. Cincinnati, more on the onset of around noon is when we're going to begin to see that. If you're in towards Wilmington or Hillsborough, Lebanon, you're going to see this on the onset more of 1, 2 p.m. Yeah, I can't even keep up with the Facebook comments. There are a lot. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go backtrack, show you the model data again, show this map again, and I'll try to give you a more linear timeline here in a moment. Take a look, see if my Facebook page is working or not. Because like I said, I can't even look at the Facebook comments. Facebook on the desktop is just not behaving well for comments. All right, people are just asking about amounts, which is behind me. We'll dive into that again here in detail in a moment. So again, we're going to begin to see this at around 10 a.m. So between 10 and 11 a.m., we'll begin to see very light snow show up towards the Ohio River. But areas to our south and west, so Greensburg, Versailles, over towards Cotton Township, Vevey, Carrollton, Napoleon, down towards Owenton, Monterey, over towards Williamstown, Dry Ridge. I'm just trying to name as many communities I can think of that are in these areas. Aurora. These locations will see snow beginning around 10 a.m. Now around 11 a.m., which is what this model is right now, you can begin to see that blue taking over other spots, including Franklin County, Dearborn County, all of northern Kentucky of Boone, Kent, and Campbell County, Pendleton, Bracken, Robertson, Mason, Lewis counties, and even into southern portions of Adams, Brown, Claremont, and even Hamilton County. Again, that's around 11 a.m. We'll go into noon, 1 o'clock. You can see that snow. Look at how tight this gradient is. If you can see on this monitor, light shade of blue already showing up at between 1 and 2 o'clock over towards Clinton, Warren, Butler, Highland counties. That's that light shade, but darker shades of blue here indicating that moderate to heavy snow. This is around 1, 2 o'clock. The heaviest band of snow beginning to show up to our southwestern counties. The snow starts for our northeastern counties, so as the places I just mentioned, I'll include Fayette and Union County and Indiana, Butler, Warren, Clinton, Highland, and northern Adams counties. Between 1 and 2 o'clock, we begin to see that snow show up. Now, after 2 o'clock, we're going to see everyone's going to see snow. So this is around 4 o'clock. Again, darker shade of blue, indicating that moderate to heavy snow band showing up. Now we go into the evening hours. So we go into 8, 9 o'clock. You're going to begin to see, or maybe hear even, sleet mixing in with the snow, because the mid-levels of the atmosphere are going to have a little bit of a warm spot in it. We call it an inversion, a slight inversion, where the temperatures actually rise a little bit when you go a little bit higher up in the atmosphere. That's going to allow the development of not just snow, but also sleet right in here, right in this mix. And so that's going to lower slightly the amount of snow you might see. However, it'll be taken over by sleet. And sleet is, I would argue, worse than snow when it comes to travel because very icy. But areas south of that, areas you see here in pink, that is freezing rain. So our far southern counties, Lewis, Mason, Robertson, over towards Pendleton, Grant, Owen, Carroll counties, will we see that potential for freezing rain as early as 11 o'clock p.m. on Sunday night. We go forward in time into Monday morning, freezing rain line still there, but the colder air is going to begin to push that potential for sleet and freezing rain further south and southeast. And then we're going to see more snow shower activity for Monday morning. So widespread snow Monday morning, and then eventually Monday midday and afternoon. Do note the colors beginning to get lighter, which is indicating the heavy bands of snow will begin to recede, and we're going to be seeing more widely scattered snow showers. Now, with those scattered snow showers, even Monday afternoon, we could see a couple of bands that still have moderate snow. So even though the big event is primarily Sunday through Sunday night, Monday will still have impacts because of not just snow showers, but also blustery winds. We're looking at breezy conditions on Monday. Gusts could get as high as 30, 35 miles per hour. Could create some blowing snow for us here into the tri-state. And that's also going to create an issue with roads, so impacts with regards to that. So let me go ahead and show you this map again. I'm going to stand over here that we can try to see some of these numbers with this coloring here. So we'll start with the big one. Areas in purple, 7 inches to 11 inches of snowfall. Locally higher amounts are possible where that band of heavy snow does show up, and there also could be some sleet mixed in. And I do put a caveat here in the banner, sleet may lower amounts, but not significantly. So if you get a little bit of those little ice pellets, sleet, mixing in with the snow, these numbers won't be as high. However, there's going to be a very sharp cutoff between where that sleet snow is and the heavy snow. So that's why we kind of put this broad brush of 7 to 11, because let's say that sleet snow line ends, let's say, right over I-74. And with that, maybe you're in St. Leon, you might see 5 inches of snow. But areas just north, say Brookville, could see 11 inches of snow. That's how close that line's going to be between where the sleet mixes in and lowers amounts a little bit versus the heavy band of snow. Now that's not the forecast, I'm just telling you that's where that band is. And that band, really difficult to pinpoint right now as to where it's exactly going to be. That's why areas in purple here, which is the majority of the Fox 19 Now viewing area, is going to have 7 to 11 inches of snow. Now how about areas in northern Kentucky and towards northeastern Kentucky? Well, we do have snowfall there. That's going to be there too. Areas in this blue, kind of hard to see it here, but you can also see the blue up here, 4 to 8 inches of snow. But that's also going to be mixed in with freezing rain and sleet. So sleet could also lower that number down a little bit too. But another concern for folks in Kentucky is not just the snow or sleet, but freezing rain. So this lighter shade of pink is freezing rain amounts up to perhaps 1/10 of an inch, which may not sound like a whole lot, but what happens is you have a raindrop coming down, and when it hits the surface, it spreads out and then it freezes because the ground temperature, the surface temperature, is going to be below freezing. So it's going to create that glaze of ice. Worst case scenario to have, the more freezing rain, the worse it gets. And I'm sure you're aware, if you are from this area or have lived in this area long enough to know 2004 we had a big ice storm. Now I don't foresee that here, at least in the Fox 19 Now viewing area, but that just goes to show you what freezing rain can do. And so it's really important to have ways to, in the event of a power outage, you need to have supplies. You need to have an emergency kit, because especially with areas that could see higher amounts of freezing rain, areas to our far southern counties. So areas in this kind of hot pink shade, if you will, could see more than 1/4 of an inch of freezing rain. So Owen County, southern Grant County, southern Pendleton, Bracken, Robertson, southern Mason, including Mayslick, and then southern portions of Lewis County, again, could see, this is not enough room in this room, could see more than 1/4 of an inch of freezing rain, potentially. I put around 3/10, but generally speaking, around 1/4 of an inch width of freezing rain. That'll be mixed in with snow and sleet, mind you. So treacherous travel conditions, a given in this scenario. Also given in this scenario, power lines being weighted down by freezing rain and snow could result in power outages, which is why I mentioned an emergency kit, a great idea to have. You should always have one, for one, but secondly, it's good to check up on it. Make sure that you have your phones charged, maybe snacks, water, fresh batteries, flashlight, all good options to have. And also, something that goes without saying, but we have to address this every time, is make sure your pets are okay too. Now granted, temperatures aren't going to be significantly cold in this scenario. They'll be below freezing, but we are going to be looking at temperatures that will be in the 20s with that snow. I'm sure if you have huskies or outdoor dogs, they want to go out in the snow for a little bit, that's fine. That's not what I'm saying, but just make sure that they have their needs met, with this. But the big story too with this is going to be, of course, the winter storm impacts of the snow and ice. But one thing that needs to be addressed is Sunday night, with the winds moving in, feels like temperatures are going to drop. So this is at 11 o'clock Sunday. So if you can envision that widespread band of snow, and then down here a little bit of that sleet and freezing rain, you're also going to have gusty winds with this. And that's going to allow wind chills, or feels like temperatures, to fall in the single digits and low teens. So this is at 11 o'clock. We'll continue this into Monday morning. So this is around Monday, 9 a.m. Wind chills, again, single digits and teens showing up here on the maps. So not only will it be a winter storm where travel is going to be very much impacted, major impacts, power outage threat is also there, and you're looking at dangerously cold conditions, wind chill values in the single digits, where if you're outside for a period of time, you have the risk of potentially, not good news. So make sure if you're going to be outside dealing with this stuff, if you have to be outside, make sure you are being layered up. And Monday through the day, wind chills will stay in the teens with this situation here. But we added Tuesday to our first alert weather day because Monday night into Tuesday morning, we're looking at wind chills below zero for many spots. This is, again, just one particular forecast model, but this is Tuesday morning. We are looking at wind chills, again, below zero. So Tuesday morning, if the roadways are cleared out, if there's school, if you're going back to work, there's a lot of ifs there, but things will still continuously be impacted. Actual temperatures, though, will be in the teens for Tuesday morning, which is still very cold and will lead to even roads that were treated with the winds blowing over snow could refreeze and create more slick conditions here into the tri-state. So what I'm going to do now is show the 7-day forecast here. That way you can see, because we've been talking about this winter storm for a while here. And while that's loading, our computer's running a little slow today. Of course, there's a lot of data being fed into them with this system. But here is that 7-day forecast. And as you can see here, again, quite cold heading into the middle and even latter half of next week. So we got here Sunday, again, that heavy snow moving in afternoon and evening for the heaviest part of it. Light snow does show up as early as 10 a.m. Sunday. Snow, sleet, freezing rain Sunday night into Monday. Monday, I did introduce the sleet text here because we might still see some lingering sleet mixing in Monday morning, especially for the lower half of the Fox 19 now viewing area, but snow all day long. High at 29. Tuesday morning, morning lows will be, teens, close to single digits in spots, but feels like temperatures will be below zero for many Tuesday morning. Tuesday is dry, high at 25. Wednesday and Thursday are dry but cold, highs in the teens and low 20s, lows in the single digits. And then the end of next week, going into next weekend, we are tracking some snow showers then, but right now, a lot of ifs and kind of things to keep an eye on for that, but that's not the focal point of the 7-day forecast. We've got to focus on what's happening tomorrow first. Then after Tuesday, we'll begin to focus on Friday and Saturday, which right now, again, snow showers, temperatures in the 20s for those days. So let's go back here to the winter storm warning map. I'll try to look at Facebook comments again, but earlier I was trying to look at it and the desktop is not friendly with there's a lot of comments. So I apologize. I'll try to go back and read them. The respectful ones I'll answer, but if you're going to be disrespectful, I'm not even going to acknowledge your comment. So let's go ahead and talk about this. This is the winter storm warning. You probably saw it on the monitor, on the top of our newscast, or our programming we have on Fox 19. And that is because we're looking at winter storm warnings for everyone in the Fox 19 Now viewing area between 10 a.m. Sunday and all the way up to midnight Tuesday. So Monday late night here in the tri-state. Because we are looking at the snowfall amounts greater than 6 inches for many spots, as well as icy accumulations, especially for the southern half of the Fox 19 Now viewing area. So we'll go ahead and pull up that forecast model once more, and I'll try to make an attempt to see Facebook comments. All right. Again, it's kind of hard to keep up with all the comments, especially when there's a lot of them. So appreciate you commenting, but I wish our system were able to keep up with it. Okay. People are asking about amounts. I did show that map earlier. I will show the amount graphic again. Yep, generators are a good idea if you're able to have generators. Make sure they're outside. Don't want to have them inside because the fumes are not healthy, of course, to be inside. Sharon says, I can deal with snow, but not sleet or freezing rain. Going to be nasty Monday morning commute to work. Yeah, so really want to emphasize if you do need to go to work on Monday, or if you have to be on the roadways. I get it. I'll have to be on the roadway on Monday. So if you are, give yourself plenty of time. Don't wait till the last minute to get to work, because I'm sure bosses are going to be very understanding if you need to be delayed a little bit, but make sure you're responsible and give yourself extra time and plenty of space between you and drivers around you. Another big important thing, as somebody who has family who has operated snowplow trucks, give them a lot of space, because they have a lot of work to do between monitoring the salt coming out of the back of the truck, as well as plowing the snow or sleet in front of them, and also trying to drive. There's a lot of mechanics that go into that. So really want to emphasize, if you see a plow, salt truck, whatever road crew it is that's trying to take care of the roadways, give them a lot of space. They need that space. Otherwise, you drive too close to them, that puts them and you at risk of an accident. So again, just trying to preach responsibility with this. Okay, so people are asking about amounts again. So we'll go ahead and do that. Then we'll go back to this model and kind of show you what our thinking is. So I do want to address, because somebody was pointing out that other stations are showing other amounts. Well, I will say that what we're looking at here is that moderate to heavy snow band. There's going to be a moderate to heavy snow band. It's a matter of exactly where, and it's going to be how it extends with that sleet snow line. I'm just being transparent with you. So big caveat here, you got to read that. Sleet may lower amounts. And so where that sleet line is going to set up with the snow, mixing in with the snow, that line is going to be somewhere in here where the amounts might be a little bit lower. That's why we're putting 7 inches. It's a range, 4 to 8 inches, 7 to 11 inches. I know more often than not people want to look at the high-end number, but you got to look at the range too. So 7 inches is on the lower end here with this line. But the 11 inches of snow is going to be where that band of heavy snow sets up, which is going to be anywhere in this purple shade here. Again, even locally high amounts are possible, but again, we're looking at the heaviest band of snow pretty much right over center of the Fox 19 Now viewing area. In northern Kentucky, we're looking at not just the snow, but also the freezing rain aspect with this, where we could see ice accumulations up to 1/10 of an inch in this light shade of pink, which includes portions of northern Kentucky towards the Walton Split area. And then we have this darker shade of pink, which indicates potentially more than 1/4 of an inch of ice, which includes our far southern counties, so central and southern Owen County, central and southern Grant, Pendleton, Robertson, Mason counties with that. And you might even notice to the top, towards Dayton, still looking at some moderate to heavy snow up there too. But you go north of I-70 and there's a lot of decrease in amounts of snow. So I will say, if we're going to be asking about locations outside of the viewing area, can't really answer those specifically, but I will say if you travel north of I-70, amounts do become much less, and it is just snow up in that direction. But the target for us, the focus is us in the Fox 19 Now viewing area. So I'll list the counties that are in purple, just in case if for some reason you can't see the map. So areas that are in purple, which again is 7 to 11 inches of snow, that amount might be slightly lower because of sleet. And when I say slightly lower, might be on the odds of maybe 1 to 2 inches lower. And on top of that, there's also the potential for locally higher. I know that's kind of a little messy, but that's just kind of the situation we're dealing with this winter storm. So the counties that are in purple, what I've just mentioned, includes Decatur, Ripley, Dearborn, Franklin, southern portions of Fayette and Union counties, central and northern portions of Boone, Kenton, and Campbell counties, also Ohio County in Indiana. But in southwest Ohio, it is Hamilton, Butler, Warren, Clinton, and Highland counties. And in central and northern half of Claremont and Brown County and Adams County, far southern portions of those counties, it's a little bit less. And we'll talk about that here right now. So areas that are in the deeper shade of blue are lower amounts, and that is for 4 to 8 inches of snow in addition to freezing rain and sleet. And that is for Switzerland County in southeast Indiana, Carroll, Gallatin, Owen, Grant, Pendleton, Bracken, Robertson, Mason, Lewis counties, southern portions of Boone, Kenton, and Campbell, and southern portions of Claremont, Brown, and Adams counties. Again, that's 4 to 8 inches of snow mixed in with some freezing rain and sleet. And the freezing rain totals are up to 1/10 of an inch for Switzerland, Carroll, Gallatin, southern Boone, Kenton, Campbell, central and northern portions of Grant, Owen, Pendleton, Bracken, Mason, and Lewis counties, and then freezing rain up to 3/10 of an inch will be for central and southern portions of Owen, central and southern portions for Grant, Pendleton, Robertson, Mason, and Lewis counties. Sorry, I was trying to do that for in case if anybody might have visual impairments or disabilities. That way they're at least informed as well here on wherever they're watching us, wherever we're streaming. So again, this is the snowfall map behind me, and it's a little fuzzy because of the model data. So if you might see the raw data, or if somebody's showing you the raw data, it kind of shows kind of a big mess for everybody. But we've kind of refined it because it's going to really be dependent on where that band of what we call a warm nose layer. And a quick little meteorology thing is we look at the atmosphere not just in 2 dimensions, but 3 dimensions. You got to look at it as a layer of the atmosphere. There's going to be what we call an inversion. So warm air higher up above the surface. And it's going to look like a nose if you look at it from a 3-dimensional perspective. And that little warm nose is going to create precipitation in the form of sleet and even potentially freezing rain. And that's kind of the tricky part of this. If you recall back in 2021 of February, we had a big event that was with regards to that. I was in Bowling Green. We got a lot of sleet from that down there. But for us here in the tri-states, so southeast Indiana, southwest Ohio, and northern Kentucky, this warm nose, we are confident enough to say that it's going to produce, or it's not going to be as far north as that event in 2021. We do know there's going to be a band of heavy snow setting up. We do know that, and we know it's going to be somewhere in this shade of purple, which goes as far north as Springboro, Middletown, over towards Franklin, Wilmington, Sabina, Connorsville, Liberty, and it goes as far south as right along the Ohio-Switzerland County line through Walton, Claryville, New Richmond, Georgetown, and West Union. That's how it extends where that heavy band is going to be. Now outside of that band, still a lot of snow. little less, but still a lot. 4 to 8 inches of snow is a lot. And so that's why we've been talking about these impacts. The amount you might be focused on the numbers, but the impacts for everyone's going to be major because of not only the snow, the heavy snow, but also the ice mixed in with that. Okay, so let's go back to the 7-day forecast, or actually let's do the model data real quick for the timing of this. Try to look at comments real quick, but again, our Facebook page is a little wonky with trying to answer those. Okay, people are asking about the timeline. Perfect. Right into the perfect timeline here. Pun intended. So here we go. This is tonight. We're dry. Clouds increase. Now, this model says 9 a.m. I think it's going to be more around 10 a.m. We're going to begin to see that snow shower activity move in. And with this is again between 9 and 10 a.m. Snow shower activity is going to begin in our far southwestern counties. The Cincinnati metro area will see. Let me go back this up just a little bit. This is going to jump a lot. Right around noon, Cincinnati metro area between 11 a.m. and noon will we begin to see this snow. When I say Cincinnati metro, I mean the 275 loop. We got more viewers than just that, so I want to address everybody as much as I can. So this is around noon, and that snow activity is showing up from Laurel, Indiana, Brookville, West Harrison, St. Leon, Harrison, Cincinnati, down towards New Richmond, down towards Georgetown, Russellville, West Union, Vanceburg, Kinnickinnick, and areas to the south and west of that all seeing snow. This is at noon. We go to between 1 and 2 o'clock. Backed up just a smidge. And then at that point, most of the Fox 19 Now viewing area will see snow. It's going to start off light, but quickly begin to come moderate to heavy. I try to always, whenever we're showing model data, try to give you some context with it, because you just see blue. It's like, well, what's that tell me? It tells you it's snow, but it tells you varying degrees too. So you see over here, this is a light shade of blue. That indicates light snow. But then the shades get darker, indicating moderate to heavy snow. And so this is around 1, 2 o'clock. Cincinnati Metro already seeing moderate to heavy snow. We go into the afternoon after 3 o'clock, we're going to see widespread moderate to heavy snow. And this is going into Sunday night. We've got not only that, but also sleet and freezing rain showing up. Now, I will say that this model has a hard time showing the sleet. In fact, it just shows sleet and snow together with this blue. But we've been looking at the data enough to make that assumption that the sleet mixing in with the snow is basically right on the fringe of the Ohio River and points southward. There could be a little bit of sleet mixing in north of that, but it's not going to be enough as opposed to areas in northern Kentucky. But further south than that, you also have freezing rain mixing in with this. So this is at 11 o'clock. Notice that pink, that is freezing rain. We play this forward out in time. This is going into 3, 4 a.m. Look at this, another band of moderate to heavy snow, pretty much right along I-71, going towards the Ohio River. And you still have freezing rain, sleet mixing in with that to the north, right between this line here. Are going to be looking at sleet mixing in with freezing rain. This is Monday morning, 4 a.m. We play this out in time. Eventually, by 9, 10 a.m., the sleet and freezing rain subside, and we're all seeing snow. Now, I will say this, from this point onward, so Monday at 11 a.m. onward, it's going to be on and off scattered snow showers. So you will see some breaks in the precipitation. However, we are going to be looking at scattered snow showers, and some of those snow showers could have moderate bands. Do you note the colors? They're changing a little bit. That's a good indicator of going from light to moderate snow shower activity. The heaviest band of snow looks to be further off to the east at this point. But still, looking at on and off scattered snow showers, temperatures will be in the mid to upper 20s on Monday, and along with that, it will be breezy, looking at gusts getting as high as 30 to 35 miles per hour, which will lend to be wind chills into the teens for Monday. So a very cold Monday, and with those winds, another impact with this. So road crews are going to have their hands full. Not only looking at significant snowfall amounts as well as some ice, but you're also looking at, as they clear the roads Sunday night, Sunday late night into Monday, winds will pick up, and any snow that does come down, it'll just blow it right over the roadways. And I do want to add, because somebody did ask this yesterday on 19 at noon, are we looking at a wet snow or a dry snow? Won't go into the specifics. You might know what I'm talking about, but if you don't know what I'm talking about, the simplest way of saying it, a wet snow, good snowball, making snow. Dry snow is more fluffy and powdery. But I will say the wet snow is going to be with us Sunday and Sunday night. Monday during the day, we'll have some pockets of the wet snow, but there will be eventually drier snow that works in because drier air is moving in Monday afternoon. And that dry snow is going to create issues for blowing snow, which might reduce visibility a little bit and may also as well recover roadways to the point where we're looking at more slick spots for Monday afternoon. And somebody asked about blizzard conditions. Blizzard conditions are very specific. This does not look like a blizzard event. This is just a winter storm, but regardless of what you call it, whether the name is one or the other, still the impacts will be treacherous travel conditions, strong wind gusts to the point where it's going to have wind chills in the teens on Monday, and also kind of recover some roadways here across the Fox 19 Now viewing area. Okay, let's pull up that 7-day forecast once again. We'll take a pause here. I need to get a drink. And secondly, we go over the 7-day forecast real quick, and then we'll go ahead and look at comments if we can for any further questions or comments, respectful comments at that. So here's the 7-day forecast. Heavy snow tomorrow, especially in the afternoon and evening. Sunday night, a snow, sleet, freezing rain moving in. And that'll continue into Monday. So Monday, we got snow and sleet, eventually changing over to scattered snow showers, blustery for the majority of the day. High, I have it at 29. That's just because we are looking at those temperatures warming up a little bit, but it will cool down Monday late afternoon into Monday evening. Tuesday, very cold and dry, 25. Wednesday, Thursday, morning lows in the single digits, highs in the teens and low 20s. And then for the end of next week into next weekend, we are tracking some more snow shower activity. Now, it's not at the proportion of this right now. It looks like it's just scattered snow showers. But at this point, that far out, especially with all this stuff going on, we haven't had a chance to really dive in and deep dive into that. But right now, it looks like it's just light snow showers. But, of course, as we get closer, we'll let you know here on Fox 19. Okay, we'll go ahead and take a look at our Facebook comments and questions. And we are going to look at this. Okay, people are asking about amounts. Show the total maps again. I can do that for you. Now, I do want to say, don't get too caught up in the numbers. It's going to be a lot. You know, a lot to the point where we're looking at significant impacts here for the bulk of the Fox 19 Now viewing area. Got to stand over here, that way you can see the numbers as well as the map itself. There's a lot of data, there's a lot of stuff to digest here. Make sure I can get the comments here. There we go. So, this is from Sunday late morning through the day on Monday. So this is all Sunday afternoon, all Sunday night, and Monday. And as you can see here, purple indicating the heaviest of snow, 7 to 11 inches of snow. Locally higher possible, and that's going to be very narrow band of wherever that heavy snow sets up. But you go outside that purple, and by the way, the purple expands for the majority of the Fox 19 Now viewing area. So from Batesville, Connorsville, Brookville, Lawrenceburg, Versailles, Covington, Newport, Hebron, down to Florence, Cincinnati, all of Hamilton County, all of Butler, Warren, Clinton, Highland, and most of Claremont County. And then the northern half, or at least I should say 2/3 of the upper 2/3 of Brown and Adams counties are in the purple. Areas in the blue, Slightly less, but still a lot. 4 to 8 inches of snow. Pretty much all of northern Kentucky, as well as Switzerland County and southern Brown and Adams counties here. 4 to 8 inches of snow there. Freezing rain, light band, or this band of light pink. That is for freezing rain up to 1/10 of an inch, so a glaze of ice. And then up to 3/10 of an inch of freezing rain for this darker shade of pink, which is going to bring in more impacts, significant impacts potentially for our southern counties. So Owen, Grant, Pendleton, Robertson, Mason, and Lewis counties here. So that is the map. I'll put this up full screen and try to look at those comments again. Before I do, let me take a moment here. If you're going to be asking about snow emergencies, if you're going to be asking about school delays or closings, we got you covered. You go to fox19.com. We got a lot of stuff on the home page. You can click on it. You can see all the questions or all the answers to those questions about whether or not there's any kind of snow emergency or snow prep plan for your community or county. Because I couldn't answer all those right now. That's a lot of information. But in short, we have all that information here on fox19.com. And if you can't find your community on there, then I would say try to reach out, look at their Facebook page of whatever community you're at to see if there is any updates for you. But here is, again, that snowfall map. I have it up in full. That way you're able to look at it. You can see it to where you can, look at the amounts. Still a lot of impacts, though, no matter what you're seeing. Okay, Mike asked a question. I'm going to have to go back on camera here, so I'm going to take this back up to me. Mike asks, how can we see freezing rain and sleet with temperatures in the 20s? Great question. In fact, one thing, this is a little bit off topic, but you can have freezing rain with temperatures even in the teens. So when I worked in Rapid City, I remember it was 19 degrees and we had freezing fog. So little water droplets and fog, but temperatures were well below freezing to the point where those water droplets attached to any surface of roads, signs, vehicles, immediately froze. So first of all, you can have liquid water with temperatures below freezing. That's a lot to dive into. But with this, the reason why we're looking at sleet and freezing rain potential here is because the atmosphere, this is a two-dimensional map. You got to imagine this being tilted. If I had this to be tilted, you could tilt it and look at the atmosphere in 3 dimensions. So at the surface, the temperatures we're experiencing will be in the 20s. But you go a little bit further north, so just above the surface, there's going to be what we call an inversion, or temperatures that actually rise to get to just above freezing, to the point where the precipitation, which all precipitation starts off as snow, as it falls, it'll melt. Sleet is when that snowflake melts completely to a little ice pellet, or it melts to the point where it's an ice pellet, or get that back. It melts to the point where it's liquid, and then as it falls, it freezes. In fact, I got an explainer. It's better than this map. So give me about 5 seconds to pull this map up here, or this graphic up. Although, there we go. Okay. There we go. So, we're not seeing rain. Anyone who says rain, that makes 0 sense with this system. So we're not seeing rain. We're looking at snow, heavy snow, but again, as I mentioned, the higher up you go, temperatures actually warm up. And we call this here a warm nose. How far will that warm nose extend? There's still a little bit of questions on that. That's why I brought up the point of sleet, maybe reducing those amounts a little bit, but nothing significant. We're not looking at a major bust potential with this system. We're going to see a lot of impacts. That's a given. So this warm nose here is going to allow for this precipitation to melt, but then refreeze to where you get ice, those little ice pellets. We call that sleet. Then you get a little bit more of a warm nose, so a deeper layer of warm air The precipitation as it comes down changes over to rain droplets, but the surface temperature's still below freezing. And when those water droplets hit those surfaces, it'll spread out, and that allows it to freeze a lot quicker. So it instantaneously freezes and creates that glaze of ice. That's a troublemaker. So the freezing rain is the biggest troublemaker with this scenario, but also obviously sleet and snow are troublemakers too. So that's why we're calling this a big impact situation here with this. So, oops, hit the wrong graphic. Let's switch it to this. Put that full screen, that way you can take a look at that, and I'll look at some more comments here. Carrie asking about traveling at 5 p.m. No, not a good idea, because this is going to begin again Sunday after 10 a.m., and we are looking at the heaviest bands of snow to move in the late afternoon. So tomorrow, Chief Meteorologist Steve Horsemeyer and myself will be breaking into programming. I want to say around 4:15, 4:30, somewhere around in there. And then after that, we're going to try to go live here on Facebook, or maybe before that, to kind of answer some questions, look at some updates, accidents, things of that nature. But then we'll be back here tomorrow at 6 p.m. for our 19atSIX. We always do. So we'll have you covered then. But by that point, we're looking at a lot of impacts, a lot of moderate to heavy snow, even a little bit of sleet, perhaps, to our far southern counties by that point. Oh, Mike, this is why I'll be plowing a runway at the airport and you're a meteorologist. Appreciate the explanation. Of course. All right. Okay, at this point, people are just asking about the amounts, and that's what I have up here on the screen. Oh, Lisa adds, Steve is on vacation. Nope. As a chief meteorologist, for one thing, he's a great leader. He might be watching right now, and if you are, Steve, I'm indebted to you because you're just an awesome leader to have. But he is deciding to not go on vacation. In fact, he called me earlier. He and I were having a pretty long conversation about the models because we kind of geek out about that stuff. But Steve will be in here tomorrow, as well as I, around 2 o'clock. We'll kind of converge with Ashley, kind of talk with her for a little bit. Then we'll begin to do updates tomorrow afternoon. Again, we'll be going live on the air, I think, around 4:30, in between the football games. I know that much. We'll be live on social media when we need to be. We'll of course, be here on 19atSIX tomorrow evening, and then we'll do some more updates, continuous updates throughout the evening hours tomorrow into Sunday night's newscast. Now, what was I going to add? Oh, but no, Steve decided to take a couple of days out of his vacation to come in to help us because, of course, this is a big event, and Steve is somebody who's not going to give you any kind of nonsense. When Steve says it's going to be bad, you want to be prepped for it. Growing up, I always admired that from him. I try to emulate that, do the same thing. I'm not going to blow something up because of ratings. That's not why I do this job. But Steve and I will be here tomorrow all afternoon covering this stuff, and we'll give you continuous updates tomorrow. And I know it sucks for the folks who have to be on the roadways tomorrow. I will say if you are able to not be on the roadways, highly recommend you just stay inside if at all possible. I know I'm kind of in the way with the numbers. I'll pull that back up full screen. So here is, again, those numbers. Areas in that blue shade, 4 to 8 inches of snow, 7 to 11 inches of snow for those shades in purple, which includes Cincinnati. And we could see locally higher amounts. And I also want to add that any sleet that mixes in might lower these amounts a little bit, but I'm not looking at a significant drop in these accumulations. Areas in blue for southern portions of the Fox 19 Now viewing area, that's also 4 to 8 inches of snow. In addition to that, some freezing rain and sleet mixing in with that. So freezing rain for the areas in the light shade of pink, that's up to 1/10 of an inch of freezing rain. The darker shade of pink, that is up to 3/10 of an inch of freezing rain there. Chris, hey, that's a question I was waiting for earlier, and I explained it earlier, but I'll explain it one more time. So for this event, a lot of this will be wet snow. So wet snow is going to be coming in for the initial start throughout the Sunday evening, Sunday night, and into Monday morning. Monday afternoon will be more of a dry snow, but there will be some bands of moderate snow that could still be kind of the wet snow. So this is going to be a wet snow, sleet, freezing rain event. I made this graphic, and I'll do another explanation because people are asking about the specifics. You want to dig into my brain a little bit, and I appreciate it because that puts my knowledge to the test here. And I like to teach a little bit too, so this will be kind of fun for me. So at this point, this has been 55 minutes. Hopefully you all got that information. This is a quick little explainer, a little off topic. Well, it's the same topic, but this is a little bit something different, more unique. This is a forecast model of the mid-level moisture. This mid-level moisture is where the snow development really kicks in. So that deep shade of green is where you're looking at good snow developing. We'll play this forward, and this is going into Sunday mid-morning, Sunday afternoon. Look at that big shade of dark green all over the place. That's a lot of moisture at mid-levels. That's where the snow develops. We continue this Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, Sunday night, and then eventually Monday we begin to see some breaks with this, but still a lot of snow development in the region. Now this area down here, it's not showing it because that is a little bit of a dry slot with the area of low pressure, but also with that, a little bit of that freezing rain, sleet scenario that's mixing in with that. But you go into Monday afternoon, still scattered snow showers as we've been saying. So we look at a lot of different things as meteorologists. A good meteorologist looks at all of those things to make those determinations. And so we do have a good band of moderate to heavy snow showing up, dynamically driven, which is advanced level meteorology stuff. I won't dive into too much. I tried to a little bit there. That's probably the most I can do here at this point because I don't want to bore you to death. So here is that 7-day forecast. Again, we've got, again, snow moving in on Sunday, especially for the late morning and afternoon. So 10 a.m. onward are we beginning to see that snow moving in. Heavy snow especially for the afternoon and evening, a high of 28. Sunday night into Monday, temperatures only falling down to the mid-20s, that snow-sleet mix. Monday, snow, a little bit of sleet mixed in with that in the morning hours, especially for areas south of the Ohio River, and blustery conditions, a high of 29. Tuesday, 25, very cold in the morning. Morning lows in the teens, however, we are looking at winds still continuing to where wind chill values or feels like temperatures could fall below zero. Tuesday night into Wednesday, cold night, lows in the single digits, highs in the low 20s. Thursday, morning low of 3, an afternoon high of 19. And then going into the end of next week into next weekend, we've got highs to the mid to upper 20s and some snow shower activity that will be moving into the region. But at this point, this far out, a lot of question marks. And of course, with all the focus being on tomorrow, Monday, and even into Tuesday with the cold air, there's still some things we've got to look at, and as we get closer, we'll keep you posted on all of those things. But one thing we do on 19atSIX, I know some people are asking it on Facebook, I will show it, is we give you an exclusive 14-day forecast. I'll do that to close things off because we've got a couple more minutes before we've been on here for an hour. And so that's the 7-day forecast behind me and there. And now let's go beyond the 7-day forecast. This is taking you all the way through the middle of the month of January. And as you can see here, temperatures are going to stay on the cold side. Highs in the upper 20s and low 30s, and lows in the teens and low 20s. And we are looking at the potential for snow flurries and light snow showers from the 13th all the way through the 18th. And I will say at this point, from the 15th through the 18th, it looks fairly light with flurries or very light snow showers with that. So, takeaway here. We're looking at those winter weather hazards late Sunday morning, so around 10 a.m. through Monday. What to expect, we've got freezing rain, sleet, and snow accumulations. Of course, icy snow-covered roads, blowing snow, as well as travel impacts with that. Let's show you another graphic here real quick that might talk about some of the areas, that's some of the things I was mentioning. So snow's going to stick, I think, to everything, untreated roads especially, but road crews are going to have their hands full with this. Heavy snow at times, could see some significant icing for areas south of the Ohio River. blowing snow could cause more icy spots Monday during the day. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some delays, perhaps even into Tuesday for schools because of A, the blustery conditions covering those roads, also the fact that temperatures drop into the teens and even single digits Monday night, and of course the wind chills falling below 0 for Tuesday morning, which of course is not good for kids at the bus stop. So very active next few days. Of course, as I mentioned, we're going to always be with you here on the Fox 19 First Alert Weather app, the 24/7 weather streaming channel, keeping you posted on updates with this system. And of course, at 10 o'clock or after a basketball game, we will be giving you more updates on this, looking at more model data, might tweak that map if it's necessary to do at this point. But again, we're looking at a very impactful system here, starting on Sunday at 10 a.m., will continue through the day on Monday with heavy snow as well as icy conditions mixed in with that snow. So thanks for trusting us for one thing here at Fox 19, but also stay tuned. Of course, very evolving thing, and no matter what, we're looking at a lot of impacts with this system. So stay tuned, and we'll give you updates as often as necessary right here on Fox 19. Thank you so much for joining us on 19 at 6. We'll see you tonight at 10 o'clock on Fox 19 Now.